and gentlemen, now it's Too Late with Alan Mosley.
Guys, welcome back to the show. It is Too Late with Alan Mosley. I saw in the chat from last week that some people they watched the intro video and then immediately we were already getting the messages from people saying, is that what Columbia, Tennessee looks like? Yes.
It does not.
No! Damn it, Blake!
Why?
You're the worst, man.
Why am I the worst?
You're supposed to say, yeah, that's footage from right outside the studio. Look outside the window of my office. That's Columbia.
Oh, come on.
Look, that's
Muletown, USA, right there, buddy.
Yeah, this is happening in real time because we're live, of course.
Absolutely.
That's the city. Look, we're all abuzz with excitement.
That's right. Thrilling.
So anyway, you know what I was excited for this past weekend? I was excited for the XFL. Did you watch any of the XFL?
I heard good things. Good things.
So we actually talked about the XFL on this last week's episode of Sports Ball. We talked about they have some interesting rule changes and talked about kind of just the product on the field and the production values. I was actually pleasantly surprised at how good it was.
Oh, good.
Of course, it really lines up for me and Mike Meharry because Mike is a fan of Tampa Bay sports, and of course the Tampa Bay Vipers lost their first game. Oh. And of course me, I'm for the NFL. I'm a fan of the Dallas Cowboys and the Dallas Renegades. They're a team in the XFL. They lost their first game, so we're right on pace. We're right on pace. That's exactly where we want it.
Okay.
Now, let me tell you the one thing that kind of stood out to me as a little bit confusing. I noticed that the DC Defenders were trending on Twitter. There's their logo right there.
Yeah.
It's a neat logo. It's unique. Cool. It's not like anyone else. But they were trending on Twitter, but it wasn't because of their performance, which would have been justified. They had a big opening week win, good attendance at the stadium, led by Cardell Jones, who was a championship winner at Ohio State. So that could have been the story, but that wasn't the story.
Really?
Have you ever noticed how teams will have like their little hashtag slogan? Yeah. Like the Titans here in Nashville.
Like Tighten Up,
The Titans are hashtag Tighten Up. Yeah. So if you see Tighten Up trending on Twitter, it must be game day. They're talking about the Titans. The DC Defenders have one.
Okay, and what is it?
It's hashtag Defend the DMV.
What? You're kidding me. That's a joke, right?
Now, I Googled this because I was like, come on, this has to be a joke.
That sucks.
So apparently, this is what I've read. So if you're in chat and you're watching the show, leave us a comment and let us know. If you're from the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, let us know if this makes sense. They were saying that people in that area refer to DMV as DC, Maryland, Virginia, like the geographical region. That's the DMV.
Okay. Well, then what did they call the DMV?
So it's kind of like it's kind of like protect our house, defend our home field. It's hashtag defend the DMV. Okay. Now, I get that makes sense if if that's what you mean by the DMV.
Right, if that's your region,
No one thinks that.
No.
Everyone knows the DMV is this.
Ooh.
That's the DMV.
Yeah.
It's just rows and lines of just sweaty people waiting for all of two reps.
I smell that room.
Yeah, like 800 people are waiting in 3 lines for their licenses or whatever, and their incorrect paperwork. It's just like everyone hates the DMV. Yeah. So whoever's idea it was to make their little hashtag defend the DMV, fire that guy.
Yeah.
Actually,
look at this again. Have you got your real ID yet?
You know what? I actually take that back. Okay. The fact that we're sitting here talking about it means it worked, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Damn it. So fire that guy and he can come work for us.
That's right.
What would ours be, do you think? What's our hashtag for us?
We rule?
Hashtag we. Boy, you really dug deep for that one, Blake.
Come on. What are you doing? You can't do that. How am I supposed to react?
Remember, guys, when a new episode of It's Too Late with Alan Mosley comes on, go on Twitter and say, loving the show, hashtag we rule.
I don't know.
All right. Okay. So, anyway, the other bit of news before we move on from the monologue.
Sure.
Last night was the New Hampshire primaries.
Okay.
I don't want to really get too much into the primaries. Bernie Sanders won. The mainstream media is trying to pretend that he didn't.
There you go.
Big surprise there.
Yeah.
But for me, I know a lot of people are disappointed, especially the Yang gang.
Okay.
Andrew Yang has suspended his campaign for the presidency.
No.
I know that. So that image right there was from the front of his website today.
He looks so dapper. Look at him.
He looks all right. Yeah. So I wanted to kind of do like the little compliment sandwich thing where like you say one good thing along with a bad thing.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say the one good thing about Andrew Yang is he definitely came off as not a sociopath, which is usually pretty typical of politicians.
Yeah.
He generally came off as a pretty decent guy, seemed like a nice family man and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't fault him for that. I think some people were drawn to him because he seemed genuine. Yeah. And I can appreciate that. Okay. On the other hand, he built his whole campaign on the whole $1,000 a month UBI thing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And so it was really less that he was the right man for the job, and it was really more vote for me, I'll give you stuff. Yeah, that's what it really was. Yeah. But have no fear, Yang gang members out there. Uh-huh. From what I understand, normally when one gang kind of dissolves, its former members get picked up into other local gangs. Yeah. So if you were a member of the Yang gang and you're looking for a new home, probably try the Bloods with the Crips.
Oh. Look, mouse pads.
You think those are mouse pads?
They look like mouse pads.
I don't want us to get shot because we called their things mouse pads.
Aren't those bandanas, though? They're just like
they're bandanas.
Bandanas, man.
When I was a little kid, I had bandanas, and I wasn't a gangster.
Yeah, we used to tie those around our legs or our head, Remember Bruce Springsteen wore the red one in his back pocket?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's because Bruce Springsteen is a well-known Blood.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that.
All right, well, get all that stuff out of here. So I wanted to finish with this before we go to the break.
Sure.
Is you hear this same phrase from people all the time. They always say, we got to get back to the Constitution. What about the principles of the founding? So first of all, if you haven't noticed that doesn't matter anymore, I'm sorry. But anyway, on top of that, I feel people, like I get that they see that it seems like the presidency is just a race of who can promise the best goodies out of the government grab bag. Yeah. It's just a race to give away free hard quotations, stuff, free stuff. And people wonder, how did it get this way? Yeah. I'll tell you how it got this way. It got this way because of Americans. Ooh. It got this way because of Americans, because at the end of the day, Americans are constantly asking the president or Congress to give them things that neither of them is authorized to give per the Constitution. Right. So don't be surprised then if the candidates that rise to the top are the ones that openly and brazenly say, you know what, I'm just going to ignore that silly Constitution stuff and I'll give you whatever you want. But, it reminds me of that H.L. Mencken quote, they'll give it to you good and hard, right?
Oh, they will.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, we will be right back after this commercial break. So, guys, we don't have 4 commercial breaks yet.
No.
So we're back for a live commercial break.
Yes, we are.
We, believe it or not, we are 1 month and a couple of days away from episode 100.
Yes, sir.
We are going to be filming episode 100 live here at Osborne Studio and Sound in beautiful Columbia, Tennessee, Saturday, March 14th. From 6:30 to 9:30.
That's right.
It'll definitely start at 6:30. I don't know. It'll end when we're finished.
Yeah.
That's based largely on how terrible me and Blake are at our job.
True.
But the important thing is that you are welcome to attend. We want everybody to come join in the big milestone of ours, episode 100 live, the Saturday, March 14th. At 6:30 here at Osborne Studio and Sound, Columbia, Tennessee. Consider going to our old Gold Standard Facebook page, which you can see right there, and RSVPing because seats are limited. We would love to see you here, where there's going to be live music, an awesome show, and you're going to get to enjoy the camaraderie with a lot of other like-minded folks, just like me and Blake. We would love to see you there. Until then, back to the show. I know, right?
Yeah, man.
This is the only reason anyone's going to watch the show is they're going to be like, I got to get more of that funk.
That funk.
That's fat funky beat.
Yes, it is.
Do kids say that anymore? It's a fat beat?
They don't.
Okay. Screw you guys. So anyway, you know what time it is, don't you?
What time is it for?
It's time for the meme of the week.
Yes!
You're so excited.
I get so excited.
Meme of the week.
Oh.
So we've got Nancy Pelosi holding the infamous speech. What's she looking at? She's looking at Bernie Sanders, who says, I'm going to do my best, Bernie Sanders. I'm once again asking for you to not rig the primary against me. Okay. Really, I think that sounded a little bit more like Arnold Schwarzenegger than Bernie Sanders. Anyway, give me a friggin' break. I'm not a professional. This is my first day. Yeah. So anyway, so what does she do with that? Of course, she rips it up. Oh, I know. You know, of course, you know what that's a reference to is that. So Bernie Sanders did very well in Iowa. Some would even say that he won Iowa. Really? But old Mayor Pete wound up getting as many or more delegates. Then you fast forward to New Hampshire. New Hampshire, Bernie Sanders pretty unequivocally won. And today in the news, all the headlines were, Bernie loses ground compared to 2016. Mayor Pete in the lead. Talking about delegates. Like, it's the corporate press is the enemy of the people.
They just snub whoever they want, don't they? Even their own band.
We talked about that last week because I don't really want to rehash that because I don't really have a lot of sympathy for Bernie because he's just a flaming commie. But I get it's more that I'm sympathetic for people that are like they still believe in the system and they're like, I'm supporting my guy and I'm looking at the numbers and he should be winning, but like they're going way out of their way to make it so that they prop up other candidates and he doesn't win. Right. Like, dude, they're totally going to steal it, right? like they're totally right? Like they're totally not going to let Bernie Sanders win. Yeah. So you asked me this. You asked me this before the show. Okay. You had said, who do you think it's going to be? Right. Who do you think is going to win this? If I had to guess, I would say that I think it'll be Bernie.
You serious?
I think it'll be Bernie, but I can also see the scenario where the DNC totally rigs it so that Bernie cannot win and they prop up another candidate. Like, I could see that.
You know, who knows?
Who knows?
I mean, we can. The only thing we can definitely expect from these guys is absolute chaos.
Absolute chaos.
Absolute chaos.
Oh, so anarchy.
Yes.
No. We're not going to go anarchy. There. So anyway, you know, I had totally forgot about this until this week. So Anna Kay, please forgive me. It's Valentine's is this week. Yeah. Valentine's Day is the 14th, right? Yeah. That's Friday.
Right. Yeah.
Today's the 12th.
You better got your paper hearts cut out and all your happy love yous written on it, you know.
Yeah, we have that. Yeah. We have. Yeah. So I was flipping through the old interwebs and I was trying to find some Valentines that would be appropriate for Valentine's Day. Sure. So I found one. So this is the first one. This is a Valentine straight from Ayn Rand. Of course, you know, everyone knows author / philosopher Ayn Rand, who wrote Atlas Shrugged. Look at that. And so this is a Valentine by Ayn Rand. Yeah. Roses are red, violets are blue. Finish the poem yourself, you dependent parasite.
That's so lovely.
You know what really makes that is that it doesn't rhyme. Yeah. If it had rhymed, it would have been too cute for Ayn Rand. Yeah, I know. But since it didn't rhyme, that really made it. We have another one. Pull up the next one.
Ooh.
You're so cute, I could just eat you up.
Oh, I bet he could. with hot sauce.
With hot sauce?
Sure.
I don't have a lot of experience with cannibalism like you do, Blake. But so you're going on record tonight, Blake, as saying that when you eat other people, you use hot sauce.
Well, yes, of course. No.
And then finally, we have one more from former President Bill Clinton.
Oh,
Bill Clinton says, "I would gladly admit to having sexual intercourse with you."
I'm sure he would.
Do you have a good Bill Clinton impression?
I did not have sex with that woman.
So the answer is no. Then you don't have a good. No, because you know Bill Clinton's like, "I would gladly admit to having sexual intercourse with you." I don't know. I'm not really good at it. I just know that I'm better than you.
He's really hard. Yeah.
No, it's really easy. Sure. He's a really easy impression to do. Not for you, apparently.
Not for us. I don't know.
So guys, let us know on Facebook. Type at Blake Osborne. Let him know what you think about his Bill Clinton impression.
It's terrible.
So anyway, one more quick thing in our little funny segment today. Everyone knows this logo, right? I've never seen that.
I've never seen that
I've
before
never
in my
seen
life.
that before in my life. Of course, I've been told that that's the logo for Pornhub.
Okay.
I've never been there myself.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. Just checking.
But I've never been there myself. But anyway, there was an article in the news recently.
Okay.
Go ahead and pull up this bit of the article right here.
Oh,
it was a lady who was writing saying that Pornhub needs to be shut down. The government needs to step in, Blake.
Yes.
The government needs to step in and shut down Pornhub. Now, her reasoning for this was that there was recent abuse and sex trafficking, and it was discovered because some videos of underage girls that were being abused came up on Pornhub.
Okay.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm very sympathetic to that, right?
Okay.
Like, I'm sympathetic to that's a terrible thing. We don't want that to happen. Now, okay. I'll read a little bit right here.
Okay.
So there was a case of 22 women who were deceived and coerced by Michael Pratt, owner of Girls Do Porn. That's a really creative name.
Oh, yeah.
Into performing sex acts on film that were subsequently uploaded to Pornhub. These women sued and won a $12.7 million lawsuit. Take that, Irv.
Oh, man.
According to a federal indictment, Pratt and his co-conspirators produced child pornography and trafficked a minor. Pratt reportedly fled the United States for New Zealand and is currently wanted on a federal warrant. Wow. Sure. There are other individuals complicit in these crimes who should also be wanted by law enforcement. CEO Ferris Antoon and COO David Tassillo of MindGeek, the Canadian-based company, technically headquartered in Luxembourg for tax purposes. I like how they put that in there.
Yeah,
that owns Pornhub.
Sure.
You see, Pornhub is complicit in the trafficking of these women and minors, and probably thousands more like them.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if it's fair to say they're complicit because it appeared there.
Okay.
Pornhub is generating millions in advertising and membership revenue with 42 billion visits and 6 million video uploads per year.
Wow.
Yet it has no system in place to verify reliably the age or consent of those featured in the pornographic content. Get that out of there.
Jeez.
So the reason why this caught my eye, because I had never heard of Pornhub before.
No, that's new to me.
The reason why this caught my eye is that at the end of the day, there's two things wrong with this. Now, look, what those people did is criminal and disgusting, and they should get what they deserve. Right. But there's two things wrong with the tone of this article. Mm-hmm. The first one is that when you say Pornhub should be shut down, what are you really saying? What you're really saying is government should do it.
Right.
Government should shut down Pornhub. Well, you know what that's called? It's called prohibition.
Yeah.
What you're saying is that government should step in and prohibit this business, this private activity from existing, from taking place. It should be regulated / shut down completely.
Right.
Now, a couple of things. First of all, I think we've seen prohibition before and it not work out so great. Obviously, alcohol prohibition, and of course, I mean, marijuana has been legalized in a bunch of places. Yeah. It's going to be legalized everywhere. The war on drugs has been a total disaster. It's cost hundreds of millions of dollars and countless lives. Guess what? Big shocker. Prohibition doesn't work.
It does.
So the first problem with this in the article is prohibition doesn't work.
Right.
The second thing is, let me ask you this, Blake. I just have a hunch.
Okay.
If, let's say they did, let's say Pornhub was erased from down the internet memory hole today.
Okay.
How long do you think it would be before another one took its place?
Instant.
Like,
Instantaneous.
right?
Place. Oh, yeah.
Right. Like, everyone knows that.
$64 million. What?
Yeah, I mean, the stats on I think that was the videos, right? That was you don't even want to get into the.
No, it said 60 million.
Yeah, pull that back up. Pull up the second one down there.
The second one down
there. Pull that back up.
There we go, right here.
So 42 billion visits and 6 million video uploads per year. Holy! Anyone who knows,
compare to YouTube, man.
Oh my God!
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean that's out of the. So the point being is that people want it.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Mm-hmm. If people want it, they're gonna try to find what they want.
That's right.
And there's gonna be people out there enterprising enough to give people what they want. If people want it and there's someone willing to provide it, it's gonna happen. Prohibition doesn't work. Now, should we target people that are involved in sex trafficking? Should we protect underage girls? Of course we should. Of course we should.
Well, that goes without saying.
Before I see myself in the news tomorrow with Local talk show host promotes sex trafficking. No.
No.
But what I understand is that prohibition doesn't work.
It doesn't.
Guys, we'll be right back after this commercial break. Hey, did you see the playoff games last weekend?
Oh, you're into the sports ball game.
Sports Ball with Mike Meharry and Alan Mosley. SportsBallPodcast.com.
Sports ball is not a libertarian sports show. It's a sports show done by a couple of libertarians.
For when you need your bread and circuses.
Is that awesome or is
That's
that
just,
awesome?
Man, just get down in here, dude. It's great.
I know. It's a fat beat. I tried to tell everybody. Guys, welcome back to the show. So for this desk segment, today, unfortunately for you, it's Bloomberg Palooza. Now we had actually done a segment on Bloomberg not too many weeks ago back on the old show where it's not very hard to find clips of this guy saying ridiculous stuff.
Soda.
So the first thing I wanted to highlight today is, of course, everyone knows Bloomberg has kind of jumped into the race a little bit late, and he's a multi-bajillionaire, old, rich, white billionaire who's trying to buy the presidency. I've never heard that before.
No
never
way.
heard that before.
No.
Being constantly caught saying suggestive / racially dubious things from time to time. So let's start with the first clip right there. So there's Mike Bloomberg, and this actually comes from an article where Bloomberg is paying social media influencers to make him seem cool.
Really?
So let's pull up the text for that. Pull up the text right there. So Bloomberg is paying social media influencers to make himself seem cool. So right after the Iowa caucuses, which those went swimmingly, by the way, billionaire Mike Bloomberg announced that he intended to capitalize on the chaos from the Hawkeye state by doubling the advertising budget of his presidential campaign. But in addition to a flood of traditional advertising on television, radio, and online outlets targeting Super Tuesday voters, the campaign's advertising budget includes a strategy familiar to every other startup with a ton of cash and questionable business model, paying influencers to make it seem cool.
That always works. Works every time.
What exactly is an influencer?
I don't know. What is an influencer? Are you an influencer?
Oh, good Lord, no. You already. Why are you doing this to me?
I don't know. Are we influencers? No, we're producers, right? We create something.
We're content creators.
Yeah, we're content creators.
I'm a talk show host.
You're
damn it,
talk show host.
That's right. You're
a producer.
Blake.
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know at what level of social media do you have to be where this person's an influencer? And
I think that's entry level, right?
We should find out if we can get the Bloomberg campaign to pay us our $150.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, this is technically talking about him, right?
Yeah.
Bloomberg is so cool, you guys. He pays people to say so.
That's right. Oh. Right there.
Yeah,
you see that right there?
Right there?
You should have that tattooed on your hand. It says "Pay up, sucker." You know.
But you know what? I've always been a big fan of. We should really hear it from the horse's mouth.
Sure.
Like I don't like you guys shouldn't listen to me to find out what you think about old Mayor Bloomberg.
No.
You should let Bloomberg speak for himself and draw your own opinion. Now, a lot of you guys may remember Bloomberg, something that he was really popular for when he was mayor of New York was the whole stop and frisk policy.
Oh, yeah.
Which went so well, and everyone really respected the police, and minorities were totally not unfairly challenged.
That went well.
Play the clip from Michael Bloomberg.
But you come back, there is this business, it's a couple of, one newspaper and one news service, they just keep saying, it's a disproportionate percentage of a particular ethnic group. That may be, but it's not a disproportionate percentage of those who witnesses and victims describe as committing the murder. In that case, incidentally, I think we disproportionately stop whites too much and minorities too little.
Well,
it's exactly the reverse of what they say. They are. I don't know where they went to school, but they certainly didn't take a math course.
Well, exactly so.
Or a logic course.
Absolutely. And I think, as I said, most New Yorkers like it the way it is.
Huh?
So
wait, what?
First of all, this is a production thing.
Yeah.
Did you notice how the cameraman zoomed in a little bit on him?
Yeah.
Like that
like,
was.
What?
Now, Blake, you're a professional. I bet you're going to know this. You're going to know exactly what I'm about to say. Didn't the cameraman zoom in on him because the cameraman was thinking, "Oh, he's saying something terrible. We got to get this.
Yeah,
we got to get this. We got to get this."
Zoom in to bring attention to what he said because it's like, so what? Wow.
Now, this whole thing just strikes me as so odd.
Ugh.
Because you've got this rich old billionaire white guy who now he's running for the Democratic nomination, and there's already writing on the wall that the DNC is kind of giving him a little bit of a boost. They definitely don't want Bernie. If Mayor Pete can't get it together and get enough people to vote for him, then we'll just give the nomination to Bloomberg because he can beat Trump. That just strikes me as so odd. Because again, it's not a matter of what I personally believe in. I'm just painting with a broad brush here, right?
Yeah.
So you've got the Democratic Party that's kind of branded itself as the party of social justice.
Yeah.
As the party for the disenfranchised, the minority, for the poor and the dispossessed.
Yeah, you see that.
And they're the party who wants to fight against greedy corporate capitalists.
Yeah.
And what's Bloomberg's hashtag is put the United back in the United States, which is the cheesiest garbage ever. But the thing is that I'm not even judging them that if that's what you're into, that's not what you're into. That's not even what I'm talking about.
Right.
What I'm talking about is that if that is how you identify, if that's the political camp you are in, why on earth would you support Bloomberg, of all people, for the nomination for that political camp's nominee? When that guy is on tape everywhere, he had some of the most onerous policies when he was mayor of New York.
Yeah.
He, in his own words, said, if anything, we should be targeting the minorities more. It's just the math, you guys. We have to go after the blacks. I mean, that's basically what he said.
That's what he said.
That's a clip of his own coming out of his own mouth.
Yeah.
And so it just strikes me as so odd that the party who is anti-Trump, anti-billionaire, buying his way into politics, supposedly anti-corruption, pro-little guy, how could you support that? That is who Mayor Bloomberg is, down to, I'll tell you what, you can go to the last clip. This is who Mayor Bloomberg reminds me of.
Hey, I got that same shirt.
I like how that's your reflection. Oh, I've got that same shirt. Which one, by the way?
Not Trump's, Bloomberg's. Yeah,
Bloomberg. Okay,
yeah.
You got that same shirt as Bloomberg.
I wonder how good those guys are at golf.
I'm sure they've had plenty of practice.
Yeah.
The point of it is that pull that picture back up.
Okay.
I would challenge anybody. Tell me the difference between those two guys.
One's taller.
Sure.
Maybe it's that.
Leave it up to Blake. Leave it up to Blake to have the answers.
Because there's nothing else different about them.
Well, yeah, no, you're completely right. I mean, that's pretty much it. One's taller. That's about the only difference you can find. It's so funny that there are left-wing voters out there and DNC officials out there who genuinely think that the strategy to beat Trump is to have our own.
And play golf with him.
I like how you ruined my little thing. I said to beat Trump is to have our own. And then you yell out, and to play golf with him. I can't do this show. We got to take a commercial. I can't even talk to you anymore. We're taking a commercial break.
Have you ever been talking politics with a friend and told, if you don't like it here, you should just move to Somalia?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, from the sandy beaches of Mogadishu, Sherry and I bring you Postcards from Somalia, one of the newer products of Little L Productions, where we take on all of the fallacies of the people who say, if you don't like it, you can just get out. I like that.
Yeah.
I like you got to add that,
We gotta do that.
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's like rock star, you know?
I noticed. Did you notice in the postcards from Somalia commercial
Yep.
that's totally old that we're going to be redoing soon?
Well, what?
Do you notice that my hair is almost back to where it
Yeah.
was back
Yeah.
then?
Yeah,
It's almost
gets
there.
curlier now, though. It looks so much more substantial. It's nice.
It's
Yeah.
substantial. Believe it or not, I'm dead serious when I tell you this. I actually had people write me and
Really?
say, "Don't you dare cut your hair.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you do, I will quit watching your show."
Well, yeah, like it'd be like Felicity Huffman. You'd just be, you just tank. It would just be over. Don't cut your hair.
You're the only person on planet Earth who has ever said, "Alan, you're just like Felicity Huffman."
No, you're not like her.
Okay,
She's cuter. Sorry.
What happened to this segment already? I feel like you're attacking me. We're trying to
attacking
finish
you,
the show.
But your hair is as sexy.
No, it's too late now. It's too late now. Mute yourself. Anyway, have you ever noticed the bumper stickers on people's cars where like they hate all politicians and they think politics is stupid?
Yeah.
So have you seen the bumper stickers where they like say like giant meteor 2020?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
end it all.
Oh, we're all gonna die.
Like,
yeah.
believe it or not, this is why I have this on the show today. This is
Okay.
not a joke. They
Okay.
actually did a poll about giant meteor
You're
2020.
serious.
Pull this up. So this was in New
Oh.
Hampshire. A good majority of the New Hampshire Democrats are feeling existential right about now. According to a poll from the University of Massachusetts at Lowell, 64%, almost 2/3 of Democratic voters would rather see, quote, "a giant meteor strike the earth, extinguishing all human life," end
Oh,
quote,
wow.
than President Trump reelected.
Oh my.
The poll was conducted January 28 to 31, also shows about half of independent voters say the same thing.
What?
How New Hampshire voters feel about the death of humanity does coincide with how well they're materially doing well on the planet.
Really?
69% of respondents making under $50,000 a year say they'd be cool with blowing up.
Really?
Only 49% of those making more than $100,000 say the same.
Oh my goodness.
Younger voters also seem to be more fed up with the world than older voters. So anyway, I'm sure. I think I am. I'm sure that most of those people voted in that poll as a joke. Like they don't actually would rather see a giant meteor extinguish all human life on Earth
that's heading right
than
for
Trump
my
get
house.
reelected. Now look, I don't have a dog in the fight.
Okay.
I endorse no political candidate on this show, which means I kind of like endorse every political candidate for marketing purposes.
Okay.
But I don't have a dog in the fight. But I can tell you one thing. No matter who wins the election, that will not drive me to mass genocide.
No.
I will not want to commit suicide. I will not want to see a giant meteor destroy Earth.
No.
Because my guy didn't win.
Yeah.
Like that's so ridiculous. On its face ridiculous. But I will say this though. I will say this.
Okay.
Let's say Trump does get reelected.
Okay.
And I don't know if I'm ready to say that's my prediction of what will happen.
Okay.
But let's say Trump gets reelected. Do you remember when he won in 2016, all the people that were saying they were going to move to Canada?
Yeah, none of them did.
They didn't.
No.
I have a feeling the meteor's not going to bail us out.
Nope. I think you're right.
I think I'm right too.
Yeah.
So anyway, have you heard the news?
What news?
The news. Huey Lewis in the news, of course.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, I love them.
So Blake and I are both music guys. We work in a studio. We're both musicians. We've both been in concerts, love music. And we all have our different like musical influences that kind of like helped shape us either at different times or different things we may have written or just overall our musicianship.
Yeah.
I love Huey Lewis, man.
Yeah.
Do you have pull up?
There
So
it is.
that's Huey Lewis back in the good old days.
Look at
That's
that
Huey
butt
Lewis
chin.
from
Yeah.
Huey Lewis in the news. What was your favorite? What was your favorite Huey Lewis song?
"Happy to Be Stuck with You" is one of the songs that I really dug.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah,
I like
the music video with the boats and the little island and the
Are you gonna sing everybody a quick bar from the song?
No.
No. You coward!
No,
You
I'm not gonna
coward,
do that.
Blake! Guys, everyone in chat at Blake Osborne, let him know what a coward he is for not giving you his rendition of his favorite Huey
Yes,
Lewis
it's
song.
true. I'm happy to be stuck with you. I'm a little pitchy. but my hair will never.
No. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. I think mine is If This Is It.
Really?
I think that's my
Great
favorite
song.
Huey. Yeah. Like the thing about Huey Lewis in the news is it's like it was feel good music.
Yeah.
Like it brings a smile to your face. It makes you
Absolutely.
think of like good times.
Yeah.
When you think of Huey Lewis.
And he has so many great hits, man.
The reason why I actually had him to end the show today is that there's actually this article in Esquire that is about Huey Lewis, and that apparently Huey Lewis kind of was going through a hard time. You can go ahead and pull up the picture in the article tile, so you can find this in Esquire, guys. It's free to read. The story of Huey Lewis is not a tragedy. So look at that picture, man. That's Huey Lewis today. That's Huey Lewis the rancher.
Really?
Look at that.
Look at that. Wow.
We looked this up before the show. He's 69 years old.
Wow.
Nice.
Man.
Yeah. But anyway, I did not realize that they even had done an album as recently as 2000, but apparently they did.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But of course, I mean, their heyday was really in the 80s. And and if you're ever wondering, like, well, what happened to Huey Lewis?
Yeah.
Well, of course, he went into acting for a little while. He was in some shows and some movies, and it's all right. It's all well and good. Like, look, I don't fault artists for not like constantly pumping out chart toppers, because I'm like, dude, you can kill that. So I'm like, dude, like if I wrote a song that won a Grammy and I was a millionaire overnight, I would totally just retire.
Yeah, just
like,
disappear.
I'm not saying for sure that I would quit music, but I wouldn't feel obligated. Right? Like I would be like, I'm rich.
Pressure,
Screw you guys. I'm taking my ball and going home. So I always kind of felt like that was Huey Lewis's story. And you come to find out in that Esquire article, he was diagnosed with. You'll have to help me with the pronunciation. Meniere's disease.
It's constant ringing in the ear that never stops.
So basically, what it is that he lost hearing in one ear some years ago, and just because life moves on, I guess you're like, well, I got two ears, so who cares, right?
The other one works,
And then he started to lose hearing. Everything sounded distorted, and it got to he couldn't find pitch. He really couldn't perform. Yeah. And so they just diagnosed him with Meniere's disease, and I actually kind of likened it to irritable bowel syndrome, where if you have digestive problems and they can't figure out what it is, they just say, you've got IBS. The end. It's kind of like that catch-all for when the doctors don't really know what's wrong with you. I feel like that's kind of what Meniere's disease is.
It's almost like a cop-out.
Yeah, it's like we're not really sure what's going on with your hearing, so we'll just say you have Meniere's disease.
Yeah.
It's a really cool article. It talked a lot about how he's trying all these different techniques and supplements and stuff, trying to repair it, trying to get back to the point, because he really wants to try. He wants one more attempt. Like he wants to do one more album with the Muse.
Yeah.
He wants to crank out one more concert, one more, just one more to cap off the career. I really hope he succeeds.
Yeah, me too.
So everybody there in chat, let us know what your favorite Huey Lewis in the News song is.
Please do.
Please do. And bonus points if the answer is If This Is It, because that's the correct answer. We should have set this up as a poll. Like
Johnny Be Good, and how many other songs he had? Wait, it wasn't Johnny Be
Johnny
Good.
Be
It was
Good.
The Power of Love, and I get that messed up because
Johnny Be Good.
Johnny Be Good. Do you know why they did that to me? I know that sounds stupid, but let me explain. Okay, so he did the song in Back to the Future was the ending credits song, right? The Power of Love. And I guess it got messed up because it's something about the 50s, and it happens to me.
Whatever you got to tell yourself, Blake.
Yeah.
So when you get older, like Blake,
that new sound
your mind starts to go. So Huey Lewis has Meniere's disease. Blake has Alzheimer's. But
no, I don't.
Well, it's okay. Think it's time for the finale? I think it's time for the finale. We'll be right back after the last break.
Hi, I'm Blake Osborne, owner of Osborne Studio and Sound in Columbia, Tennessee. I've been a DJ for over 20 years, and I'm proud to have been a part of over 1,000 weddings and events all across the mid-state. My clients can expect an exciting experience both for you and your guests. I come equipped with state-of-the-art sound and lighting technology to perform in any environment for any audience. MC, DJ, or videographer, or all of the above. Clients of Osborne Studio and Sound enjoy all these services rolled into one affordable package. When choosing entertainment for your special day, call Blake Osborne of Osborne Studio and Sound at 931-381-1000 or join us on the web at facebook.com/Osborne Studio and Sound Pro Services.
You can like us on Facebook by liking our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/funnybroke. Also, consider following me on Twitter. It's Twitter at Alan M. Mosley. You can also find our entire library of content on our YouTube page. Subscribe to us on youtube.com/funnybroke. I love this song, man.
Yeah, it's
a really cool ending finale song,
yeah,
you know?
It's like going to bed music, you know, you can kind of relax and...
Well, we really have to thank the band because the It's Too Late Orchestra is playing this right now. They're right away.
They really are more attractive than having to be off camera, but you know.
Is that bit even still in the show? I don't remember. we've done so many different. I don't remember what bits are or are not in the show. Guys, thank you so much for watching another episode of the show. Please consider following us on social media as aforementioned. You can also support the show at our Patreon, patreon.com/TGS Alan Mosley. And we will see you next week.